Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Celtics fall to the Bucks 127-121 in an undermanned effort. Bucks put all their regulars out there in this game, had Giannis Antetokounmpo rolling throughout. Celtics lean on Jaylen Brown as a leader, and they got quite a performance out of him. A triple-double, second of his career, 20, 10, and 10. Ends up adding an extra assist before the end of the night, but also a key turnover in crunch time that allows the Giannis to break out, score on a goaltend, and slam the door in a game where the Celtics led with 2 minutes left. Bunch of lead changes over the second half. Celtics came back down 13 on a phenomenal Marcus Smart performance, 29 points, just 16 attempts. Ton of threes falling for both him and the Celtics, upwards of 50 three-point attempts here. Ime Udoka said afterward that he wanted the Celtics to take their first looks as the Bucks packed the paint with Giannis, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis deadly down the stretch, trading shots with Smart in a one-possession game. Ultimately, though, Celtics had a chance to slam the door here. Nice slip by Daniel Theis, who was electric in this game as well, rolling to the rim. Got wide open in front of Giannis. Derrick White slid the inbounds pass into him, and he had an open layup, and he missed it. Giannis ends up going to shoot one free throw the other way, and that's where this started to unravel for the Celtics in crunch time. Derrick White looked like he missed a pass on one of the possessions down the stretch as well that could have led to an open Peyton Pritchard three over the final minutes of this game, and it calls into question, despite the undermanned effort. You love what they did here, and we'll get to that in just a second. Celtics now 13-22 in clutch games. That's 29th in the NBA in terms of win percentage. Say we want to adjust it to 2022, the new year where they've been rolling here, it's still 7-8. They've got some quality wins like the Nets one. They've got some shakier losses like the Mavericks one. And when you're going against tough teams like Milwaukee undermanned, you feel good about the execution throughout and the ability to get to a spot like that. But it does highlight the one, is I think John put it well on the show tonight, post-game, blemish on this team are those ball handling opportunities in crunch time. Now the assist rate, the creation for this team, still through the roof. 30 assists on 46 buckets in this one. That's phenomenal. You think of Smart, Brown's playmaking in this game, double-digit assists for him. Derrick White, what he's able to do off the bench, although I think there's still some room for improvement on his end. They're all connected, and they're all feeding each other, and they're all finding each other in their spots. Theis, pick and roll, pick and pop, those were both here for him in a great scoring game for him. Defensively, the Celtics were able to hold up against a very tough assignment in Giannis and others. You're able to compete with just about anybody, and I think that's what we've learned about this team since Robert Williams went down. The passing on one end, the defense through a variety of coverages on the other end are going to hold up without Rob here. It's just that margin's thinner. Now, Jayson Tatum plays this game, maybe they win. It's tough to tell. Al Horford's certainly a guy that you can put on Giannis in a game like this. So not too much to take away from here. And the final result, by the end of the night, ends up being great for the Celtics. No one, Marcus Smart, Derrick White speaking afterward, as well as Ime, who called it a quality performance despite some offensive rebounds and turnovers late, coming away too dissatisfied from this one. It set the Celtics up in a number 3 position where if the Bucks do split their final two, they can still win in Memphis on Sunday and secure the number 2 seed. And as long as the 76ers don't win out here and the Celtics lose that game, feels like the lowest that the Celtics are going to fall in the standings at this point is number 3, which I think inevitably sets up with the Chicago Bulls. Still a tiebreaker there that keeps Chicago alive, but ultimately I think Toronto, with the win over Philadelphia, really locked up 5. So we're starting to see the likeliest outcome, I think, given Milwaukee's final opponents here, being the Celtics in that 3 spot against Chicago, the Bucks maybe playing the Nets round 1, which is amazing to think about. Who knows? Maybe they sit a game in Detroit and try to fall themselves. Going to be some interesting angling down the stretch here. But Milwaukee came into this game, played everybody, put themselves in position to clinch that 2 seed if they win out. Doesn't look like they're afraid of Brooklyn. Celtics, meanwhile, Ime says they want to get their players a full run going into Memphis. This wasn't about seeding, he said pregame. Just Tatum with the sore knee that he's been dealing with. Horford not playing back-to-backs a lot this year. Who knows? I don't think he's going to say it, even if they are looking at the standings and trying to fall from 2. But if that was their desire, they got it here. They played exceptionally well. Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Daniel Theis, all performances to be proud of here. The passing attack continues to stabilize, and the Celtics continue to raise their level of play as the season winds down here. Game 82 is in Memphis on Sunday. I won't be there. A-Sherrod Blakely, you can follow along with him for live updates from here. Post-game, we'll all be there for the season finale against the Grizzlies team that has locked up the number 2 seed. So Celtics advantage there, as well as Milwaukee and Philadelphia finishing up their schedules before the Celtics tip off against the Grizzlies on Sunday night. They can then decide what they're going to do in terms of resting everybody and losing that game if that's the matchup they want to get, or winning it if they need to. It's going to be an interesting final couple days of the regular season here. Celtics feeling good. Marcus Smart says it's the best he's ever felt going into a postseason. So you love to hear that coming out of a regular season with the Celtics. Win 50 games. They don't get to 51 tonight, but they maintain their level of play with Jaylen Brown continuing his streak of hot scoring, facilitating when he needs to, and rebounding and all the rest that he's doing right now. Another good defensive game from him as well, with a big block on Giannis, and Marcus Smart's block on Giannis is put back. I said it. Exclamation point on what I think is going to be a Defensive Player of the Year season. We'll get into all the retrospectives. Follow along at clnsmedia.com for a bunch of end-of-the-year content as we head back to Boston here. Thank you for following through Chicago, Milwaukee. Celtics All Access is where you'll have our playoff coverage as that nears, as well as any impromptu spaces. Discord, make sure to join that. We talk on there after games sometimes. We're in a lot of different places. So follow me at Real Bob Manning. Follow Celtics CLNS on Twitter. And, of course, the Garden Report here on CLNS Media. I'm Bobby Manning from Milwaukee. Fiserv Forum, Celtics losers, but holding on to the number 3 in the seed with the Philadelphia loss tonight as well. We'll see you back in Boston.